All right, welcome back, everybody. All right, so we have the shutdown, we have the Obamacare fight going on. Let's take a look at this this Democratic Representative Braley complaining about how the shutdown has inconvenienced his life.
They must not have been down to the gym lately. There's hardly anybody working down there. There's no towel service.
No towels.
No, and so we're doing our own laundry down there.
Oh, my goodness gracious, the Democrat congressmen on the Hill and Republicans are doing their own laundry. They have to have a towel to be brought from home. Joining me this time is the former economic business advisor to President George W. Bush, Kereakos Zuras. Kereakos joins us from our Washington Times studios. Kereakos, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me back, Rick.
Look, it's getting real serious, right to the point. This towel business, is that George Bush's fault?
You know, it seems like everything's George
Everything
Bush's fault.
is.
The weather, now the towels. I mean, what a bunch of babies. I mean, they can't take care of their own towels. I mean, this goes to show you how out of touch with reality they are. They've got to have some servant giving them their towels, picking up their towels. You know, what do they want? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Now, look, we both just acknowledge that with this president in the White House, everything is George Bush's fault. With the media, which carries his jockstrap, everything is George Bush's fault. And the question I have is this: we have high unemployment, rising debt ceiling, et cetera, et cetera. Your former boss did not exactly get high marks on the economy, and this administration is making hay off of that. At what point, in as unbiased as an explanation as you can give us, at what point does it cease to become the previous guy's fault and the current guy's responsibility?
Well, for sure, after the first 2 or 3 years of the first term, and then after that, it's yours. You really can't start blaming somebody else or the past, because that gives you enough time to do the right things and make some moves and change some things to get the economy going on a different course. But I'll say this: look, George W. Bush did spend a lot of money. He was known as somebody as a Republican who wasn't as conservative with money. He was spend. We had 2 wars going on, and he was spending money. But this president has outspent every president in U.S. history combined in his first 3 years. And he's taken our debt to a level that we've never seen before, and now he wants more money. This economy is owned by President Obama
Kereakos,
and no one else.
You bring up a very valid point that for the life of me, I don't know why the Republican Party does not brand themselves with. Two things. Number one, you're right. President Bush had 2 wars going on. One was incredibly unpopular, Iraq. But you know what? He was the first president that had to deal with the uncertainty of the immediate aftermath of 9/11. We're at uncharted territory, and I think the American people understand spending and debt ceiling increases given the uncertainty of the immediate aftermath of that historic tragedy. That's number one. The other point you bring up, and again, the Republican Party is not branding. They should brand themselves with both points, is this president has increased the debt to a higher level than all previous presidents combined. Why do you suppose the Republican Party cannot get its messaging straight?
Because first, and I've said this before, they're the worst messengers. Right now, they can't even communicate with one another. There's such division in the Republican Party, and they don't want to say things like that because they're afraid it might offend some people. And it's not really about political correctness as they make it, which they shouldn't. They should just tell the facts. We were under attack. We were in 2 wars.
That's right.
We had to spend some money, and then after that, there's no other explanation. That's it. Tell it like it is, but they won't because they're afraid to do it. It was unpopular. They don't want to go back there. They want to disassociate themselves from different things, but that's not working. Right now, it's a mess. They need to get on message, and they need to move forward with something positive.
Kereakos, there's a recent study by Cornell University which says most Americans in all 50 states, when asked a list of questions, call themselves conservative, as many today as 50 years ago. And when they identify as conservative, fiscal conservatism, a belief in free markets, a belief in smaller, limited government, a belief in capitalism, a belief in entrepreneurialism. Of course, it's a shift differently on social issues. But when they go to the voting booth, it's a different story, and it comes back to what you just said, because the Republican Party does not know how to get that message out there.
That's right, they don't. I mean, even right now, they're at the White House meeting with the president, and they're divided about what they want to do. You know, some of the party wants to give an increase in the debt ceiling so we can move forward. The other half does not, and they're fighting all the time. You know, this country was founded. We're a capitalist. We were founded on a capitalist system of free enterprise and entrepreneurship. And
be careful. They're going to
be careful. Their own way.
They're going to call you a homophobe if you keep talking like that. But go ahead.
Well, whatever. They've called me a lot of things before, but it is what it is. I mean, the facts are the facts. This country is based on that. It's about the free spirit of people going out and inventing things and building their own way and taking their ideas and making their own path. Now we've become a country of give me my share. I'm entitled to this. I want that. I'm enrolling for that program. And they're going out and they're soliciting enrollment in these programs. And now we've got half of America on government assistance. And now President Obama wants to raise taxes by another $1 billion over the next 10 years, and he wants billions of dollars in more spending. This is ridiculous.
Now, there's a message that's not getting out there. It's my understanding that if there is no budget by October 17th, the skies don't fall, the grounds don't open up, that the U.S. has enough cash on hand to prevent default, to continue payments. Is that accurate?
That's correct. We're taking you're right. Look, we're taking in about $250 billion a month, and that's more than enough to pay the interest and pay the essential things that we need to keep the country going. Now, that doesn't mean everything's going to be running, but at what point do we take a look at our 17 going on 18, trillion dollar debt and say we need to cut some things out? We need some reforms in social programs like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the food stamp program, and other things, and all the waste in government. This is why we need to take a stance and say no. We're not going to budge. You need to make some cuts before we keep giving you more money.
All right, well, Kereakos...
Otherwise, we're just going to keep doing this over and over.
Kereakos, Zuras, they say that people must feel the pain before change is made. And maybe those dirty towels in the congressional gym just might be the pain. All right. Thank you for joining us from Washington. Always a pleasure to get your insight and perspective on our economic matters.